Welcome back to another video. Today we're diving into a truly jaw-dropping moment that has left fans and classic film lovers stunned, the resurfacing of some bold, daring, and unforgettable photos of the legendary Gayle Hunnicutt. Known for her stunning beauty, commanding presence, and acting talent that lit up both American and British screens during the golden age of cinema, Gayle Hunnicutt always had an air of mystique. But these recently re-emerged photos strip away all pretense and show a side of the actress that fans never expected to see, raw, fearless, and totally unfiltered. For decades, Hunnicutt built her career on poise, grace, and an undeniable sensuality that simmered just beneath the surface of her roles. Whether she was starring in period dramas, thrillers, or horror classics, she always had a magnetic effect on audiences. But in these photos, which seem to come from a daring shoot during the height of her fame, she pushes the envelope in a way that few women of her era dared to do. Clad and barely bare fabrics and caught in stunning black and white compositions, Gayle appears as a living embodiment of timeless glamour and bold femininity. It's not just the physical exposure that has fans talking, it's the attitude. The way she gazes directly into the lens with power, confidence, and not a hint of shame is what truly makes these images unforgettable. In a time when Hollywood demanded women to fit a narrow mold, be sexy but not too sexy, be bold but not threatening, Gayle seemed to carve out her own lane, and these photos are proof. They don't just showcase her beauty, they reveal her fearless spirit and defiance of the norms that tried to box her in. Social media has been buzzing as these images have made the rounds, with fans both old and new expressing their awe. Many younger viewers, perhaps unfamiliar with her legacy, are discovering Gayle for the first time and are stunned that such daring photos existed in an era considered far more conservative. Comment sections are flooded with praise. Absolute goddess. She was way ahead of her time. And this is how you own your image. It's a reminder that true icons never fade, they just get rediscovered. And Gayle's moment is happening all over again decades later. Because of these extraordinary visuals, it's worth noting that Gayle Hunnicutt's career spanned both Hollywood and British television, making her a transatlantic icon. While she made a name for herself in films like Marlowe and The Legend of Hell House, she also wowed audiences with her elegance and commanding presence on the British stage and screen. But she never seemed to chase fame for its own sake. Instead, she chose roles that reflected depth, intelligence, and emotional complexity. So, seeing her in such vulnerable and yet boldly controlled visual statements adds another layer to her legend. She wasn't just an actress. She was a storyteller in every sense, including how she presented her own image to the world. Critics and historians alike are re-evaluating her impact now that these photos have come to light again. In an industry still grappling with how women are portrayed and the pressure they face to maintain a certain look or persona, Gayle's unapologetic self-expression feels remarkably modern. There's no doubt that these images would have raised eyebrows when they were first taken. But now, they're being celebrated as works of art, expressions of body positivity, and powerful moments of feminine freedom. Gayle Hunnicutt bared more than skin. She bared truth, emotion, and ownership of her own narrative. What's also fascinating is how these photos reflect the duality of her public persona. In her film and TV roles, Gayle often played refined, elegant women, duchesses, heiresses, mysterious femme fatales. But in these pictures, that polished facade is peeled back to reveal something far more primal and real. She looks like a woman unafraid of her own power. There's an almost cinematic drama to the shots, the lighting, the angles, the mood that speaks volumes without a single line of dialogue. These aren't just glamour shots. They're a story of liberation captured in frames. Fans who followed her work for decades are also weighing in on how these images add a whole new dimension to her legacy. For many, it's a reminder of why they admired her in the first place, not just for her beauty, but for her strength and individuality. At a time when so many actresses were reduced to mere objects on the screen, Gayle brought soul to every project she touched. And now, even in still images, that same soul radiates with stunning clarity. Whether you're viewing these photos for the first time or you're a lifelong admirer, the message is clear. Gayle Hunnicutt was never just another pretty face. She was and still is a force. And while these photos are certainly shocking, by today's viral standards, it's important to understand the context. They weren't meant to provoke or scandalize. They were expressions of art, identity, and self-awareness. Gayle wasn't simply posing for attention. She was telling a story, her story on her terms. The fact that these images are now being seen through a 2025 lens, in an age of social media and digital virality, makes their impact even more profound. We're not just looking at them as fans, we're witnessing a piece of history. A bold act of female agency frozen in time. So as this visual resurgence continues to ripple across pop culture, one thing is certain: Gayle Hunnicutt has once again captured the world's attention. Not with a blockbuster release or a major award show appearance, but through a series of powerful, intimate photographs that speak louder than words. She's reminding us all what it means to be daring, to own your truth, and to never apologize for who you are. And perhaps most importantly, she's proving that timeless beauty isn't about age or fashion trends. It's about confidence, presence, and authenticity. In a world obsessed with perfection, Gayle's photos are perfectly imperfect, human, raw, and unforgettable. So if you haven't seen them yet, prepare yourself. Because once you do, you'll understand why fans truly can't believe their eyes.